Welcome to the Ananda podcast. I'm Sammi.
And I'm Dylan. If you are on a journey to becoming the best version of yourself,
and you want to create a life beyond your wildest dreams, you're in the right place.
Let's dive in. Okay.
So whenever you are ready.
All right. Welcome back to the Ananda podcast. Today, we are going to dive into some parenting because it's something that we do every day.
Yeah.
Dylan
We're supposed
and I,
to be talking about gentle parenting.
which we will.
Yes.
And our unique journey.
I didn't know you were holding that camera, so I'm on this one.
Okay.
Let me just set it up properly. There we go.
Okay.
Make sure it's good.
Okay.
There you go.
Welcome to the Ananda podcast. We're back, and today we're going to dive into parenting because it's something that a lot of us do, Dylan and I included, every single day. Our journey started a while ago now. Our kiddos are turning 8 and 5 this week. They have their birthdays are 6 days apart, so it's always a crazy month in January. And then, of course, we have Dragon's Den a couple of days after, the day after our eldest's birthday. So it's just wild, a wild, wild, wild month. They're going to be 8 and 5. So we're going to dive into gentle parenting. The thing that we try to do. And we're going to do it a little differently today.
Yeah. I mean, we're not, we strive to be the best parents that we can be, as most parents do. For me, like growing up, I might have been unique, but from when I was a very early teenager, I would like dream of someday having kids. And I visualized that by the time I had kids, I would somehow be some version of perfect. And I was like working on myself, personal development. I'm like, oh yeah, whenever I have kids, like in the future, I'm not going to raise my voice or react negatively or, lose my cool, or I don't know. I was completely delusional. And then I had kids at 21.
Yeah. Before
I thought I would. And I was thrust into a situation that I was wholly and totally unprepared for. Yeah. And, for me as a parent, I've struggled a lot with like parent guilt and, not living up to these wildly unrealistic expectations that I hold for myself as a parent. And we can talk about that because I feel like a lot of people can probably resonate. Yeah,
absolutely. And we're going to do things a little differently today. So we're going to have our podcast manager, Sasha, is actually going to interview us. She's going to ask us questions from behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And we're going to just kind of go back and forth with our experiences, our tips. We're definitely not perfect or pros on this. But we've been blessed to have some really great people in our life who are really pros like that.
Yeah.
Who've helped kind of guide us and been such a great example for us to watch. I'm specifically talking about you, Emily. I wish she could have come on and chatted about all this, but she's given me so many tips, and like just watching her parent, I'm just like, wow, you understand how kids' brains work so much. And the way that she would say things would be the complete opposite of the way that I would say things. And I started to like take on what she would do. And I feel like that was kind of a really helpful journey into understanding gentle parenting. So let's dive in. Go ahead, Sasha. Ask away.
Hello. So tell me about, obviously gentle parenting became this buzzword in the past few years, but how do you actually define it, and what does it mean in real practice for you two?
I can answer that first. I would say gentle parenting is extremely misunderstood. I think that a lot of people think that it means that you have no boundaries and you just say yes to your kids and you're just sweet and nice all the time. And it's just like, yes, of course you can do that. And there's no discipline and there's no structure. And it's just, you're allowing your kids to do whatever they want, whenever they want. And they become, spoiled and all the things. I think that is kind of the misunderstanding of gentle parenting, or even like a way that it is attempted to be put in place for parents, because it's so hard to understand. And like, that's where Emily came in and helped me so much. It's like, it's actually about having really proper structure and boundaries, but being able to communicate and connect with your child instead of creating a disconnect and pushing farther away. And I think that that really helped me and resonated with me because, you know, we all, when we're having big emotions, which our kids do, and it's normal for them to have a big emotion.
Just the kids?
Well, yeah, no, we do too, exactly.
Yeah.
But like for kids, like their job at the age that our kids are at is basically to feel their emotions. That's their job. So instead of us seeing it as something wrong, why are you screaming? Why are you crying? Why are you freaking out? Like we react to it as if they're doing something wrong. And if we can understand this is their job right now. This is their emotional and like psychological process, and the thing that they're supposed to learn how to do is to just feel their emotions. And to not make that wrong sets them up to be able to continue feeling their emotions the rest of their life instead of suppressing them, which is something all of us in the older generations are now trying to learn how to stop doing. So it's like, it's so counterintuitive because of what maybe we learned or what we've done to ourselves our whole life of, you know, don't cry and don't freak out and don't be angry. And it's like, no, it's okay that you're feeling those emotions. Now, how can we learn how to feel them, release them, but also then kind of transmute them into something positive, right? And so to me, that's like, no, that's easily said and much more difficult to do in practice. But there's so many little tidbits that I feel like I've learned about gentle parenting that resonate so deeply and just feel like the right thing, even though I don't do it perfectly at all, all the time. I'm always just trying to get a little bit better.
Yeah, you know, see, I don't really, because I definitely wouldn't call myself a gentle parent. I don't really like, I think there needs to be a reframing of gentle parenting because I don't like the word. Because gentle parenting is, and to me, it's insinuating that there's only one type of way to parent, you know, and that's this certain way. And I know that it's not that, you know, it's about relating to the kids as an individual rather than, you know, just a nuisance or, you know, however it used to be treated. But
or that you're the boss and they're the...
Exactly. Yeah. With the authority and then subordinate relationship. I think that, like, for me, it's like, I want to be an aware parent. And I think that each child needs to be parented differently. Some kids, by their very nature, are going to need a stricter, more regimented sort of relationship with their parent. Other kids, it needs to be more flowy, more gentle, less authoritative. But like, I think that from my perspective, because, you know, I think that every person comes into this life with a different, unique psychology. Like, I believe we've all had many past lives. And so each of us has a unique psychology coming into this life. And you can see that. I mean, you can plainly see no 5-year-old is alike. Every single kid, even from the same family, treated the exact same way. They have completely different personalities. And it's because we've all had past lives and we all have different psychology. And every single person is going to need a unique approach. So it's not cookie cutter. And I don't think gentle parenting is necessarily the way that I try to approach parenting. I would like, you know, to embody many of the qualities. But I think it's important to remember, it's like, you know, your child chose you as their parent. And so it's like, as a parent, it's easy to feel like you're never living up to this ideal set by society, you know, because now it's like, it used to be where it's like parents had no pressure. They could beat their kids, they could do whatever. And it was like, that's what parents did. Now it's almost, there's so much pressure put on parents to be perfect. And if you're not perfect, or if your kid doesn't turn out perfect, then it's your fault. You must have done something wrong. And I think that needs to be reframed as well. It's like, you know, if we can come into parenting and realize that, you know, we're not perfect. The child isn't perfect. Neither of us are expected to be perfect. How can we relate to each other on a human-to-human basis? And how can I guide my child to be the best version of themselves possible? And a lot of that has to do with us as parents becoming the best version of us that we can be. And I noticed for us, like, and this goes without saying, but the more stressed we are, the more tension that we hold, the more reactive we are to our kids in situations. Like I know for me, it's like there's growth weeks and there's good weeks. And I've had a growth week this week. Like our business has been growing so much, which is such a blessing, but there's been so many new challenges to go with that. And I wouldn't even say this week. It's been like the past 3 or 4 weeks. I've had a lot more tension. I've been a lot more tense. I've had so much on my mind, so many things, because like I have all the logistics, all the manufacturing to deal with. And I've been a lot shorter with the kids. And what I've tried to do is have times like 20, 30 minutes, 40 minutes in the evening, put my phone away, and I just do what they want to do. And usually they want to wrestle. They want to have that physical, time with me and connection. And I've tried to make time for that, to create that foundation of like connection. But I've totally gone off track here from the question.
No, I think it's great. And there's an interesting study. I can't quote it because I don't know it perfectly, but I have seen more things now saying that the way that kids relate and connect with their dad is through like that wrestle and play, and the way that they connect with their mom is more like the cuddling and and so it's like also sometimes we expect ourselves to show up in a certain way to play with our kids, but actually it can be very different how the connection is with their different parents, which is kind of cool, because like I don't want to wrestle with you guys. It makes me stressed. I'm like, you're gonna like somebody's getting hurt. Like stop, and they're having fun and they're laughing with you, And then if I'm just like sitting cuddling with them and whatever, chatting or looking at pictures of them when they're little babies, like they love doing that. Sometimes, I mean, you like doing that too, but sometimes you might be like, let's go do something, and it's like, that's their way of connecting with you and their way of connecting with me. But there's so much to talk about on the gentle parenting side. I think what most people are learning now is that it is so much about your own reactions and learning how to regulate your nervous system and your emotions. And we're a generation that, like, past generations didn't know how to regulate their bodies or their emotions, really. Like,
I don't know how to regulate my emotions half the
no,
time.
I know. So I'm saying, like, passing down generation to generation of parents, right?
Yeah.
It was never a thing until now of, oh, you can learn how to regulate your body and your emotions and your nervous system, which means you can be more calm in situations of heightened emotions.
Yeah.
And it's like, but we're trying to teach our kids how to do that while we're trying to learn how to do that.
Yeah. Well, what we've at least, like, because I know growing up, adults didn't apologize.
Yeah.
Like, you got screamed at or you got chewed out, and it's like, suck it up, bub.
Yeah.
Now it's like, if I don't act in alignment with my integrity, I apologize immediately. I'm like, I'm sorry. Here's how I was feeling in that moment, and
And you're really good at that, both in like a parenting relationship and also in our relationship. You and even just in your life, I feel like you're really good at apologizing when you were wrong or just overreacted or whatever. And I love that.
I have a lot of practice at apologizing.
I love that about you, though. Like, it's really rare. It's really hard for people to say sorry. And there's a couple of things I want to mention. Like, one of them is,
we should probably also let Sasha ask us more
I know,
questions.
yeah, we will.
We'll go through the whole podcast. She'll ask us one question. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Good? Okay. Sorry about that. I feel like I'm eating my microphone. Like, put some scented, like, anyways. You know those colored pencils that smell like strawberry or something? Just spray it on there. So
Anyways.
You didn't have those when you were a kid, like markers?
Yeah,
that
I
smell like
had them.
fruit?
I had them.
Those were the bomb.
I have them too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing that we do with our kids is we've taught them Ho'oponopono, which is
That helps,
a Hawaiian like prayer. And basically what you say is the 4 hardest words to say. And it's, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. And so we do that with our kids and each other all the time. If they get in a fight, once they make up, honestly, they do it on their own now. And it's so cute where they just say, I'm sorry, please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. And then the other one will do it, and then they'll have a big hug. And it's like this prayer of forgiveness. And I just love that. And it makes it so that you're learning how to say sorry.
Well, the other day, sometimes when I was like, oh God, we're really not doing great as parents. Like the other day, we were getting into it. Like we do not argue very often, but we were arguing about something. Sage comes in with your phone and has a breath work video on, and she makes us do a breath, like a kid's like
calming. Yeah.
It's like, we're going to blow out the candle.
And so we both are like so fuming angry, but we're like, and they're both just standing there holding the phone at us. Like, Mom and Dad, calm yourselves. And it was so sweet. But it's like, those are the things that we do for them. So then it makes me like, hey, we're not that bad. We try to help them breathe through their emotions and calm down. And they've learned that from us. It's really sweet. Yeah. But the fact that they could come back and do that for us when we were like more heated than we are usually ever are.
And we argue for stupid stuff. Like,
I don't even remember what it was about.
Yeah.
But that's another good rule of like, if it's not going to matter in 5 years, then don't spend 5 minutes on it.
Anyways, okay, let's let Sasha ask us some more
Next
questions.
question.
Thank you.
She's like, God, you guys, shut up.
Let's go back to kind of the generational passing down. Obviously, we're trying to kind of break some of the cycles and evolve as we go. What patterns are you trying to change, and what aspects of how you were parented are you taking forward or leaving behind?
I'm going to start this.
Go for it.
I grew up in the Bible Belt in the United States of America. And there's a very different culture there. One of the biggest things, not just in parenting, but in life that I've had to work on is like over criticism. Like I used to have such an internal dialogue with myself of like needing to be absolutely perfect, because if I wasn't growing up, I was criticized and put down and all that sort of thing. And so like, that's been the hardest thing for me to reverse with parenting is like just learning to take a deep breath. You don't need to control the situation all the time. You don't need to like, sometimes it's better to use honey over vinegar. Like that was, I don't remember where I heard that, but that was like a theme in our early relationship was like, you don't need to like try to control every situation and fix people all the time. Just learning to like surrender and not criticize and to compliment, because it's like you think that when your kid's doing something that you don't want them to do, you think that correcting them or like criticizing them or like that'll be the solution. But what I found actually is like if you create connection, then your child naturally wants to come into like harmony with the system. It's like, I don't know if there's ever been somebody who like you really, really respect and admire and like, you're not going to be an a-hole around them. Like you're going to like naturally rise to like the best version of yourself because you want to be that for them. And it's like the more connection that you can cultivate with your kids is actually that relationship starts to develop and that natural like respect and connection starts to cultivate. And then it's like, if they're doing something that you need to correct, it can be so gentle. And it's like,
the way that you just said that is the true definition of gentle parenting. That is the actual point of gentle parenting.
That's why I want to call it like aware parenting or something.
Conscious parenting.
Conscious parenting. Yeah.
It is.
Like that.
It's truly about how can you turn a situation of disconnection into a situation of connection? How can you take big feelings and turn it and be the safe space and be the regulated person that your kid looks at and says, my parent is taking deep breaths and sitting with me even though I have these huge emotions that I don't know how to handle. And so I know I'm safe and I can calm down by being close to them and getting a hug or whatever it may be. Again, different for every kid, like you said. When we freak out because they freak out, we're showing them your emotions are too much for me to handle. And I'm not a safe space and I'm not grounded. And it's overwhelming me. And that's how they begin to have that dialogue of, I'm too much. It's not safe to have my feelings or to share my perspective or whatever it may be that sets off something bigger. And so that is the point of gentle parenting. It's actually all about you becoming the best version of yourself, becoming grounded, learning how to regulate, learning how to be the safe space for your child so that they can have the skills that we are just having to learn as adults. That's and creating more connection. And there's a book that I love and I recommend it to every single parent. It's called Good Inside by Dr. Becky. You probably have seen her all over social media because she's amazing. That book, Good Inside, is like, I don't even think I'm done listening to it. I have the audio book, and it's helped so much. And I need to like always go back and listen again or listen to the next chapter or even like restart it because, you know, we always say like there's no guidebook for being parents. Like this should be your guidebook. This is like the next generation of parenting, I think. And it is gentle parenting, but it's all about boundaries. It's all about, you know, one thing that she teaches and that I think gentle parenting is also trying to teach, which is one of those things that's very misunderstood about it, is that parents want to make life easy for their kid. They don't want their kid to go through anything difficult or stressful, and that's actually not helping them. When you overprotect your kid from not having to go through challenges, you're not helping them become resilient. And the best thing you can give to your kid is to teach them from yourself and also through their life experience how to become a resilient, hardworking, passionate, emotionally intelligent, and able to regulate their body and themselves and know that it's safe to speak their mind and have an opinion. That is how you create a strong, high self-esteem individual who's probably going to be a leader, who's going to thrive in their life and be resilient, because hard things are going to happen to all of us throughout life. So when you just take away all the difficulties, you're actually not doing your kid a favor. That's one of the biggest things I got out of that book, Good Inside. And it's also the theory that and the understanding and the belief that we are all good inside. We are all born with love in our heart. Environment to support the child being able to, number one, believe in themselves, believe that they're good. Because another thing is like, as a parent, we associate behavior, or as a child, they associate their behavior with their identity. And so when they're being bad, when they're having, you know, off behavior, they think I'm bad. And I've actually heard that from our kids before, where if, you know, we do say like, oh, you know, you shouldn't have done that, like this is something that you could have done instead or whatever, or if they feel bad about doing something at school, they literally cry and say, I'm bad. And we have to reprogram that, be like, you're not bad. You made a choice that you can learn from and make a better choice next time, but you're good inside. And you know, you have to believe that about yourself and then start showing up. And this is how you learn. That's something we say a lot in our house, is when our kids make a mistake, we say, this is just how you learn. You're not in trouble. We're not punishing you. But this is how you learn. You have to learn from this mistake. We all make mistakes.
At this point, with all these questions, we're going to be done in 3.5 hours.
Go ahead. Next one. Go ahead.
Okay. So I'm wondering, how are you, like, give me some real life examples of how you're raising your kids, especially daughters, in the era of 2026 with a lot of, you know, negativity and world issues and a lot going on with media. How do you kind of form their exposure to media and the language you use with them to help them on the right path?
Well,
It's hard.
I have a very specific personality, and I try to help my kids maybe have a little bit of it, where it's like, I try to instill in them to not to do the opposite of what most people are doing, but pretty close. Because it's like, that's where most problems develop with kids, teenagers especially. It's like, once they start doing what everybody else is doing, they start losing themselves. So what I try to reiterate is like, you do not have to do what everybody else is doing. Just because everyone else has an iPad, just because everybody else has this silly, weird toy that I don't understand why it even exists.
Boo-boo.
Like, you don't need it, you know? And we're trying to, I mean, they won't, as far as I'm concerned, they won't have a smartphone until they're 18. I'm not paying for it. So like trying to,
They can have a dumb phone.
yeah, exactly. They can have a dumb phone. Like what we're trying to do is help them create space to develop their individuality rather than just throwing them into the blender and letting them just go with whatever the masses say that they should be doing, right? And that's way harder said than done because it's individual, it's personality dependent with the kids.
We definitely find like, you know, screen time is a big thing now with kids.
hurts.
Like they're growing up with all these games and all these social media and YouTube. And we found that too much. Well,
So
honestly,
you started playing Minecraft and it like
it's
it's bad.
It's like mind
Like
melt.
It will ruin her mood for an entire week if we let her play it.
Or like honestly, so many things. Like
YouTube.
sometimes they get on YouTube, and then I'm like, "How are you? What is this? Like, why are you watching this? This is so silly. Like, it's just mindless
We call it brain rot.
nothingness." Well, they call it brain rot.
Now
They're like,
now they call it brain
"It's
rot.
brain rot. That's just brain rot." They're like little 4-year-old. That's brain rot. So yeah, like we definitely try to teach them though, because they get upset when we're just like, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't. We're always saying no. You can't watch TV. You can't watch. You can't play on your iPad. We've tried to like find fun learning games that they've had
like use technology for creativity,
for positive things. Like they have a drawing lesson app now, and they've just absolutely blown us away with their drawing skills from
And then
this app.
can't they take a picture of their?
They take a picture. They have a whole it's really awesome. They've done when we used to homeschool them. They had a reading program that they did, and they're still like you unlock little games but it's all educational, but they still make it fun. So there's things like that we are okay with. We do let them do a little bit of the things that like the Minecraft but we have to have strict timelines on it because otherwise it's like all hell breaks loose. And
It's bad.
And
you
so
wouldn't think it'd be that bad.
we try to also make that a point of educating. Do you see the way that you're reacting after you play this versus after you've drawn for an hour?
I also try to say, I remember when I was a kid and I had similar situations, so I try to relate with them.
Yeah. And we just try to make it so that it's almost their choice. Like, would you rather feel happy like this after you do this, or are you okay with having these big emotions after you play this? Like, do you see the association? So we try to make them aware of that as well, so that they can kind of have some autonomy on, oh yeah, this does affect me. And sometimes they admit it and they, make a different choice, which is good. They won't have social media though for a long time. Like I know that other countries are starting to ban it for under 16, and I actually think that's probably a really good idea.
Actually, this is just a small side note. It'll be 30 seconds. But I dated a couple of girls who were came from wealthy families when I was a teenager. And what I noticed, and I don't know if this is correlation doesn't equal causation, but I noticed that with them, their families, they were not on social media. Their phones were they didn't really have a Facebook. They didn't have an Instagram. They would just text, but their whole family was so much more present, and they were almost more aware that this is not healthy. We need to spend quality time as a family. It was really eye opening for me because in that time Instagram and Facebook were all the rage, and they were really big, and it was just weird. It's and they the family seems so much more tight knit and happy and connected because rather than sitting there scrolling, TikTok didn't exist at that time, but scrolling, they were cooking dinners together, they were laughing, they were playing board games, they were traveling together, and it was, that's kind of the vision that I see is rather than having this disconnected family that's obsessed with technology and just in in the matrix. It's like, you know, as they get older, I want to like be more present, you know, travel the world, have more aware experiences as a family.
Yeah.
So like that was pretty eye opening for me.
We definitely have times where we're better at that and times that we're,
Yeah.
and it usually correlates to like how busy we are in the business. And we also try to explain that to them. Like I said, this month is crazy for the business. So you guys are going to have to play more by yourselves. And then after that, we're going to go on our trip to Portugal, and it's going to be our first family vacation to wherever we wanted to go. And we're going to go to Europe, and we're going to have a great time. So it's like, I also want them to understand that like sometimes mom and dad are a little bit more busy and focused here. And sometimes we're going to be, you know, more focused there. And so showing them how to find that balance too.
Next question.
Awesome. That was great. I think the part about social media really, I mean, if you have any other thoughts on that, because it's a hard balance between, I mean, that's how I felt growing up too, is like my parents tried to limit it until a certain age, but then at a certain age too, if you aren't on anything, the social pressure of going to school and everyone else is involved in things and group chats that you're not in, it's a very hard thing to balance for parents of this generation.
I guess we'll tell you once we get there.
Yeah.
Because like it's easy to say, oh yeah, we'll
Yeah.
just do this, but it's like we're not there yet.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
They're not teenagers yet,
And
so.
I also, it's like technology is changing so quickly. So like, I'm really curious to see what is the thing by that time when they're old enough to like have a phone. And
It's
you
almost
know?
like, you know, drinking used to be such a huge thing and it was a really big issue, alcoholism with youth, but now it's like it's becoming like so much less popular and teens are drinking less. Like what, 55% of people in the world don't drink alcohol now. Like it's cratering, and it's like people are naturally sort of like coming off something that's unhealthy. And it's like, I almost think social media, it's like got this curve, and it's like, I think it's going to start going down anyway. So I think hopefully by the time the kids are teenagers, it's like a little bit, people are becoming more aware of how negative it is. And
I think too, but by the time we get there, we'll definitely want to just educate them on like how to use social media, because social media can use you or you can use social media. Like they're going to see that we've used social media to build a business and to share our podcast and try to add positivity to the world. Like you can be a creator or you can be a consumer. And so if we, you know, when we get to that point, if they want to be a creator of some kind, adding value back to the world, then, you know, we'll teach them how to do that in a safe and productive way. Because I think at the end of the day, they're going to have it eventually. And it can be a great tool to do something really fun and really awesome. But just really learning how to use it properly, I think is
this is
important.
all theoretical. 'Cause
Yeah,
we're not
yeah.
there
So I
yet,
guess we'll check in
We'll
in
check
a
check
few
in
years.
10,
like-
second in 10 years.
Stay
Yeah.
tuned for the
See how
next
we're doing.
episode.
Not
in
even 10
5
years. It's going to be like, yeah.
10 years. No, 10 years. I'm sticking with 10 years.
Okay, I have 2 more questions for you.
Okay.
Let's dive into a little bit more about parenting while running a business, how you find your boundaries and a balance there, and releasing the pressure to parent right because you're parenting while running a business.
It's sort of like playing pin the tail on a donkey blindfolded, and everyone's in the same room and like they're trying not to get poked with the pen. That's sort of what it's like. You have like, I don't know if you feel the same way. That's how I feel. It's like sometimes you hit the mark, other times you're, you know, it's chaos.
Yeah. I've been doing it from the very beginning. Like I mean, we both have. We've both been
I took the
running-
more stay-at-home dad
but
role
yeah,
at the
like
beginning,
for the first, you know, however many years.
changing all the diapers.
Yeah,
Don't wanna go
I
back to
was the one that was like more like on calls all day, building a business. And he was like making me food, cleaning the house, watching the kids. And I was able to like be present as well, which is why we did that for so long. And now that we're both doing this with Ananda, it's definitely busier because like we both try to do both. We both try to be a present parent as much as possible and do our business. It's also a huge reason why we moved back to Canada though, because when we lived in Arizona, we were homeschooling. So they were home all day and we were trying to start this and build it. We were at farmers markets all weekend, every Saturday and Sunday, like dragging our kids along, sitting in a tent for 8 hours a day. And it was
Drinking
impossible.
all of our samples.
Yeah, it was impossible. So we were so drained and depleted from doing that, of trying to do both like fully at home. So when we came back to Canada, like a big reason other than being close to my family was to put them into a good school here and have like, 7 hours a day to be able to actually focus on the business. And then, when they're home, it's like family time, and weekends are family time.
Yeah.
We still have to do a little bit, but that's created like a little bit more of a boundary around
Just
timing.
trying to get them involved too.
Yeah, we do. We get them involved. They know a lot about our business, and
now
they love it.
Sage starts her own business, and she's making like $1,000 at a market selling bracelets. I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah, it's amazing.
I used to work for $7 an hour mowing lawns when I was a kid, and she makes like $1,000 in 6 hours. I'm like, what the hell is this?
Yeah,
This is
it's
ridiculous.
incredible. So now Aura wants to have her own business. So she wants to do like lotions or something. She'll like come over to my mom and she'll give her a hand massage, and she's really good. She's like, this is my business. You owe me $5. So it's really fulfilling. And I think even though it's hard to handle it all and to try to be balanced with it, because it's virtually impossible, I think it's a really big blessing for our kids to be able to watch us literally grow this from nothing and be along for the journey. And they've already learned so much from it. So
Yeah. Next question.
Awesome. Okay, let's wrap it up with this question. How are you helping your kids find their bliss?
ooh,
Well, I think kids will follow what you do more than what you say. And we're teaching them that you can follow your dreams. It won't always be pretty. It won't always be perfect.
it will be hard,
It will be hard, but anything is possible,
and it's worth it.
and it's worth it. And that's the best thing we can do, is just try to find our own bliss. And hopefully they see it and apply it in their own lives as they get older.
I think we definitely we try to ask them questions a lot. What makes you happy? What are your goals? What excites you? Things like that. And that's been really a good way for them to kind of explore what makes you happy. Even going back to the Minecraft, they can see, oh, I'm happy when I'm doing it. I want to do it, but then afterward, I'm not happy. I'm frustrated and I'm grumpy. So
It's really just about leading by example.
watching Sage do her bracelets and have the whole idea, and then she was so giddy going to bed that night. She was screaming. She was like, yeah, I'm so
I
excited.
can't go to sleep.
And that was how we felt when we started Ananda. And it was felt so good to see her so excited about something that she could create and bring to the world. And then, she does her little market at Christmas and she's got all this money in the bank. I'm like, good for you, girl. And she's like, Mom and Dad, I need to do more bracelets. I need to do more bracelets. And I'm like, we're too busy right now. Can you wait until March? We'll get it started again. Because it's oh, I can't even do all of that. But it's really exciting to see them start to just explore what makes me happy, and then let's do more of that. Really support them in that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Awesome. Yeah. So, I mean, this is...
Thank you for asking us
Yeah.
questions. That was fun. Maybe we'll
This
try it
was
again.
fun. Let's do it.
We'll do it again.
I feel I wish that we could be world authorities on conscious parenting, but we're not. And,
No.
I hope that's also relatable to people who are listening. It's we're not perfect.
But we're
We're doing our
always
best,
trying
as
to
all parents
learn
are. Yeah.
and grow and do better. And we're definitely not.
It's probably the one aspect of my life that I'm like, yeah, I really that's because the thing is life is you only have so much time and attention. And sometimes when you're really focused on one thing, other things are going to suffer because you only have 24 hours in a day. You only have 12 hours, 13, 14 hours of waking time. And as we've grown our business maybe like the parenting has suffered a little bit, or like maybe when our business wasn't as good, we were good parents, but like the business was suffering, or like the health was suffering. And it's like, we're on our journey of following our bliss and becoming the best version of ourselves in every way. And so we're still very much a work in progress in this department as everyone is, right? And so
why don't we make it our goal this year to become better parents together?
Yeah.
We can listen to the full book. Because like I think it really did help us when we were listening to it together. We can listen to the full book and Good Inside, and then we will become better parents.
The one thing I'll leave you with, and this is just a thought that I had, is that you cannot break a pattern it's like you can only break a pattern through consciousness. You can only change through consciousness. And the only way to become more conscious is to put down the distractions and bring yourself into the present moment. Most of the time, 95% of our day, we're reacting from a preset program that is leading our life in the same direction, day in, day out, time and time again. The only way that we can be better parents, the only way we can create a better life for ourselves, the only way we can follow our dreams, we can be healthier, is to bring ourselves into the present moment and make a new choice. So with parenting, the most powerful tool that I've learned to become a better parent is to drop the distractions, take a deep breath, bring consciousness into the equation, come into the present moment, and choose how I'm going to respond to a situation. Because if you're just stressed out and you're reacting to everything, you will never change, and you'll constantly feel like shit because you feel like you're never living up to what you should be. But if you become conscious and you become clear on what kind of parent you want to be, it gives you the actual opportunity to cultivate a new life.
Boom. Mic drop. See you next week. That was really good. Thank you so much for listening. If this episode inspired you or made you think of someone, please send it their way. We would love for it to help them too, and it really helps the podcast. Follow along at Ananda Elixirs on social media. We can't wait to connect with you.